The Last Wish. In the bustling city of Lagos, Nigeria, lived the Adebowale family. Papa Adebowale, a once vigorous man known for his infectious laughter and profound wisdom, now lay frail and pale on his bed. His room, filled with the smell of medicinal herbs, was a sharp contrast to the lively home it once was. His wife, Mama Adebowale, never left his side, her eyes a pool of worry and sadness. Papa Adebowale had 4 children: Yemi, the eldest, a serious young man working as an engineer; Ada, the only daughter, kind-hearted and a teacher; Tund, the playful and adventurous one; and little Kihind, the youngest, still in secondary school. They were a family that once shared laughter, but time and life's demands had scattered them. As Papa Adebowale's condition worsened, he realized his time was running out. He called for a family meeting. His voice was weak but determined as he spoke to his gathered children and wife. "My dear children," he began, "I know I do not have much time left. But before I go, I have one last wish." The room fell silent, everyone holding their breath. Yemi clenched his fist, Ada wiped a tear, Tund looked away, and Kihind, innocent and young, could barely understand the gravity of the situation. "I wish for you all to live in harmony," Papa Adebowale continued. "You must come together, put aside your differences, and cherish each other. Promise me you will honor this wish." Each child nodded, though doubts lingered in their hearts. They had grown apart, each busy with their own lives, and old grudges had formed barriers between them. Papa Adebowale's eyes shone with a mix of hope and sadness as he added, "Remember, family is the most important gift we have. Do not let anything or anyone tear you apart. Promise me." "We promise, Papa," they replied in unison, though their voices wavered. Mama Adebowale, holding back her tears, looked at her children with hope. She knew this was Papa's last chance to bring them together. The room grew silent again as Papa Adebowale closed his eyes, exhausted from the effort of speaking. The family remained by his side, the weight of his last wish heavy on their hearts. The days following the meeting were filled with an eerie quiet. Papa Adebowale's condition continued to decline, and the Adebowale children found themselves reflecting on their past. Memories flooded their minds, some sweet, some bitter. Yemi, the eldest, recalled his days in the university, struggling to balance his studies and part-time jobs. He remembered how Papa Adebowale had been his rock, offering words of encouragement and wisdom. But as Yemi's responsibilities grew, so did his distance from the family. He became focused on his career, often neglecting family gatherings and events. Ada, the compassionate teacher, remembered her childhood filled with love and laughter. She was Papa's favorite, always by his side, learning from his stories and wisdom. But she also remembered the fights she had with her brothers, especially Tund, whose playful nature often clashed with her serious demeanor. Tund, the adventurous one, was always the troublemaker. He loved exploring and often found himself in sticky situations. Papa Adebowale would always come to his rescue, teaching him lessons through his actions. But Tund's carefree attitude led to many disagreements with his siblings, particularly Yemi, who saw him as irresponsible. Kihind, the youngest, had fewer memories. He was always shielded by his older siblings and parents. His world was still simple and full of wonder. He couldn't understand the tension between his siblings but felt its weight. As the family gathered around Papa Adebowale's bed, they couldn't help but feel the sting of their separation. The room, once filled with warmth and laughter, now held an air of sadness and regret. Mama Adebowale, seeing her children's distant expressions, decided to take matters into her own hands. She knew she had to remind them of the love and unity they once shared. One evening, as the family sat down for dinner, Mama Adebowale spoke up. "Do you remember the stories Papa used to tell us?" she asked, her voice soft and nostalgic. The children nodded, memories of those nights around the fire coming back to them. Let's tell a story tonight, she suggested. A story about a family, just like ours, who found their way back to each other. And so, the Adebowe family began to weave a tale, each taking turns to add to it. The story was about a family in a faraway land who faced trials and tribulations but ultimately learned the importance of love and unity. As they spoke, the barriers between them began to crumble. They laughed at the funny parts, felt sorrow at the sad moments, and most importantly, they remembered the bond they once shared. The night ended with a sense of hope. Papa Adebowe, though weak, listened with a faint smile on his face. He knew that his last wish was beginning to take root. Papa Adebowe's condition took a turn for the worse. The family was now in a constant state of worry. Mama Adebowe barely left his side, and the children took turns staying with him, their hearts heavy with fear and sorrow. One night, as the moonlight filtered through the window, Papa Adebowe called for his children. His voice was faint, and his breath came in shallow gasps. The family gathered around his bed, their faces etched with worry. "My dear children," he began, his voice barely above a whisper, "my time is near. But before I go, I want to remind you of your promise. You must stay united. You must love and support each other. This is my last wish." Tears streamed down their faces as they nodded. They understood the gravity of his words and the importance of their promise. "Yemi," Papa Adebowe said, turning to his eldest son, "you must be the pillar of this family. Lead with kindness and wisdom." Yemi nodded, his heart heavy with the responsibility. "Ada," he continued, "your compassion will be the glue that holds this family together. Never lose your kindness." Ada wiped her tears and promised to honor his wish. "Turned," Papa Adebowe said, his voice growing weaker, "your adventurous spirit is a gift. Use it to bring joy and hope to this family." Turned, tears in his eyes, nodded solemnly. "And Kihind," Papa Adebowe whispered, turning to his youngest, "you are the future of this family. Learn from your siblings and keep the love alive." Kihind, though young, understood the weight of his father's words. He nodded, determined to honor his promise. With his final breath, Papa Adebowe smiled, knowing he had done everything he could to bring his family together. His last wish was now in their hands. The room fell silent as Papa Adebowe took his last breath. The family was engulfed in grief, but amidst the sorrow, they felt a sense of purpose. They knew they had a promise to keep. As the days turned into weeks, the Adebowe family began to honor their father's last wish. They spent more time together, sharing stories, laughter, and tears. They learned to appreciate each other's differences and found strength in their unity. Yemi took on the role of the family's protector and guide. He made sure everyone was taken care of and supported. Ada continued to be the compassionate heart, always ready to lend a listening ear or a helping hand. Ton's adventurous spirit brought joy and excitement to the family, and little Kihind, with his innocence and wonder, reminded them of the simple joys in life. Though Papa Adebowe was no longer with them, his spirit lived on in their hearts. His last wish had brought them together, and they vowed to honor it for the rest of their lives. The Adebowe family had started to rebuild their bond, but it wasn't without its challenges. The wounds of the past were still fresh, and old grudges had a way of resurfacing. However, they were determined to honor Papa Adebowe's last wish and work through their differences. One evening, as the family gathered for dinner, Yemi noticed the tension between Ton and Ada. He knew it was time to address the issues that had driven them apart. "Let's have a family meeting," Yemi suggested, trying to sound cheerful. "We need to talk about our differences and find a way to move forward." The family agreed, though there were some hesitant glances. They moved to the living room, each taking a seat around the table. Yemi took a deep breath and began. "We all know Papa's last wish was for us to stay united. But we can't do that if we keep holding onto the past. Let's talk about what's been bothering us and find a way to resolve it. Tond, always the first to speak his mind, started. Ada, I know I've been irresponsible in the past, but I've changed. I'm trying to be better. I just feel like you still see me as the same old Tond who always got into trouble. Ada sighed, her eyes filled with both sadness and frustration. It's not easy to forget the past, Tond. But I do see the changes in you. It's just, sometimes, I feel like you don't take things seriously, and that worries me. Tond nodded, understanding her concerns. I promise, Ada. I'll do better. But I need you to trust me and give me a chance. Ada smiled, a hint of relief in her eyes. Okay, Tond. I'll try to trust you more. Yemi then turned to Ada. Ada, you've always been the one holding us together. But sometimes, you take on too much. You need to let us help you. Ada nodded, realizing the truth in his words. I know, Yemi. I feel responsible for everyone. But I try to let you all in more. Kihind, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. I don't understand why we fight. We are family. Papa wanted us to be happy together. His innocent words struck a chord with everyone. They realized that the fights and grudges were pointless in the face of what really mattered, family and love. Mama Adeboel, who had been silent until now, spoke up. Your father loved each of you dearly. He wanted nothing more than for you to be happy and united. Remember that love is stronger than any disagreement. Forgive each other and cherish the time you have together. The family sat in silence, absorbing her words. They knew she was right. They had wasted too much time on petty arguments and grudges. Yemi, feeling a sense of resolve, said, let's make a pact. From this day forward, we will support each other, forgive each other, and honor Papa's last wish. The family joined hands, each feeling the weight of their promise. They knew it wouldn't be easy, but they were determined to honor their father's last wish. With their promise renewed, the Adeboel family began the process of healing. It was a journey filled with ups and downs, but their determination to stay united kept them moving forward. Yemi, true to his promise, took on the role of the family's protector. He organized family meetings, ensuring that everyone had a chance to voice their concerns and feelings. He also made sure to spend quality time with each of his siblings, rebuilding the bonds that had frayed over the years. Ada, embracing her role as the compassionate heart of the family, made an effort to be more understanding and patient. She found joy in teaching Kihan new things and sharing her knowledge with him. She also started to trust Tond more, recognizing the positive changes in him. Tond, with his adventurous spirit, brought excitement and laughter to the family. He organized outings and activities, reminding everyone of the joy of being together. His playful nature helped lighten the mood, and his efforts to be more responsible were evident to all. Kihind, the youngest, was a beacon of hope and innocence. His questions and observations often brought new perspectives to the family. He reminded them of the simple joys in life and the importance of cherishing each moment. Mama Adeboel watched her children with a mixture of pride and relief. She saw the changes in them and knew that Papa Adeboel's last wish was coming true. The family was healing, and their bond was growing stronger. One evening, as the family sat around the dinner table, Yemi made an announcement. I've been thinking. We should do something to honor Papa's memory. Something that will remind us of his love and wisdom. The family listened intently, curious about his idea. I propose we start a family tradition, Yemi continued. Every year, on Papa's birthday, we should gather together and share stories about him. We'll remember his lessons and celebrate the love he gave us. The family nodded in agreement, each touched by the idea. That's a wonderful idea, Mama Adeboel said, her eyes shining with tears. Your father would be so proud. And so, the Adebowale family began a new tradition. On Papa Adebowale's birthday, they gathered together, sharing stories and memories. They laughed, cried, and remembered the man who had brought them together. The tradition became a source of strength for the family. It reminded them of the importance of love, unity, and the value of time. It also reinforced their promise to honor Papa Adebowale's last wish. As the years went by, the Adebowale family grew closer. They faced challenges and hardships, but their bond remained unbreakable. They learned to support each other, forgive each other, and cherish the time they had together. Papa Adebowale's last wish had not only brought them together but had also given them a purpose. It had taught them the true meaning of family and the power of love. The Adebowale family had found a rhythm of unity, but life has a way of testing even the strongest bonds. One day, a storm hit Lagos, flooding many parts of the city, including the Adebowale home. The family found themselves in a crisis that threatened to undo their hard-earned harmony. Water poured into the house, damaging furniture and cherished memories. Yemi, taking charge, quickly organized the family to save what they could. Tond, help me move the electronics to higher ground. Ada, take Mama and Kihan upstairs, he shouted over the noise of the storm. The family worked together, and their actions were a testament to their unity. However, the stress of the situation soon revealed the cracks that still existed. Tond's adventurous nature clashed with Yemi's strict instructions, leading to heated arguments. "You're not the boss of me, Yemi." Tond snapped as they struggled to lift the television. "I'm trying to help, but you're too controlling." Yemi's face tightened with frustration. "I'm trying to keep us safe, Tond. Just follow my lead for once." Ada, trying to calm the situation, intervened. "Both of you, stop. We need to work together, not against each other." Their arguments echoed through the house, but the severity of the flood forced them to put aside their differences. They managed to secure their belongings and move to higher ground. Exhausted and drenched, they gathered in the living room, the rain still pounding outside. Mama Adebowale, her eyes filled with concern, spoke softly. "This storm is a test. We need to remember Papa's wish and stay united, no matter what." Her words resonated with them. They knew that the real test was not just the storm but their ability to maintain their unity in the face of adversity. That night, as the rain continued to fall, the family huddled together. Yemi and Tond, both feeling the weight of their earlier argument, apologized to each other. I hope you enjoyed the tale. If so, please like the video, comment, share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more enchanting tales like this one. Goodbye.